Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Boyd. Welcome to the part 2 of the financial series. So on this video, or in this video, we're going to discuss the import forms. Lastly, we discussed how to handle the database, how to add, how to update all those. If you haven't watched, watch the last video that I made. Okay, so now that we have created the database, the cash books, customers, employees, and the projects and so on. So now it's time, let's assume now this time we are receiving money from our clients. So if anything that has to do with the receipt, it is here under cash book. So under cash book, these two forms, receipt, payment, and bank transfer, these three forms affect the cash book. These are the three forms which create the cash book report. So you need to understand that in most cases, these are the mostly used forms that I'm going to explain. So we'll start with a receipt. So if you're receiving money from your client, maybe let's say someone has come to pay for business levy, let's say if it is a personal levy or fish levy, anything. So you use what we call receipt form. So when you click on receipt, and then this form will come, will pop up. So now from here, we have um, a lot. So this first input here, which is a select activity, this one, the one which is showing select activity here. So this one, it will show only the budget. So everything that you budgeted, it will come under select activity. Okay. So from here, what you do is you just click here. Okay. You just come here and then you'll see that whatever the budget for income was, it will appear here. So you don't worry about the way it is looking. You'll just focus on the names here. So this is personal levy and then the code. So, and one thing that you have to know is the moment you click here, it's auto search. So you can search anything. Let's say someone is paying for business levy. So I'll just type bus and then I can pick if business levy is there. If it was in the budget, it will come. If it wasn't in the budget, then it won't come. Okay, so I pick business levy and then I'll go to the cash book. In which cash book are we going to deposit the same money? So from there, I'll just pick, let's say, district fund account, and then what is the source of fund of it? The same channel account code or the same activity. So this is local. And then we go to the collection center. So under collection center, you pick if you're collecting this money from the market or from wherever. So this is, I'll just pick the civic center as a collection point. So now from which customer are you collecting this money from? And then you pick that customer. If that customer has been added under customers here. So if that customer has not yet been added in the system, if he or she is a new customer, you go to customers and then you add like we did in the previous video. So from there, you search for the same customer if that customer is in the system. Let me try to search for my name. Yes, I'm there. So I'll pick my name. Okay. And then the date. So here the date, you can backdate if you're dealing with the previous month. If you want to go forward, you use the other arrow. Okay, so now let's say I'll just consider today's date, 20th. And then I'll put the description. This is business levy. Business levy. So now this is just a single entry receipt. So now there are times whereby this same customer is paying for, let's say, business levy. At the same time, this customer is paying for for, let's say, firearm certificate. So you go there, let's say you go there on the activity, again, you search for fire. So we have got fire here. So you get that fire license and then, okay, sorry, I didn't add the business levy. So I'll say business levy. I picked business levy. So on the description, you put everything, you describe everything that this customer or client is paying for. So we are saying business levy, and let's say fire license. Okay, let's say business levy and fire license, like that. And then I'll add this business levy, and then I'll put the allocated amount. Let's say business levy is 350. And then I'll choose the next activity, which is firearm. So I'll pick firearm, and then I'll click on add, and then I'll also put the amount. Let's say firearm is 250. So that comes to 600. And then I'll just click on process. So done on the receipt. So for this other one, if you noticed, I was skipping where we have mentioned option. So for the chart of account, you use this field when you are receiving for a certain invoice. Let's say you issued, like the example I gave on balances and customers. You issued an invoice to Zamtel, and then that for mass communication levy, and then they have decided now to make a payment over the same invoice. So now what you do here is, if you're receiving for an invoice, you pick the first on the activity there, you select the same activity, and then here you put the traders for the code for all the debtors. This is the control code for all the debtors. It's called trade debtors. So once you pick this, and then the system will know to say, okay, I have to knock off the dates for this client, and then you pick the same client on the list here. So now like this, it will know to say, okay, whatever the amount that you are going to put here, it's going to knock off from whatever the invoice was. Okay, that's very simple. So now let's do the payments. So under the payment, it's one and the same thing, but this one, it's somehow complicated. You have to, it's not that much complicated, but you have to be careful on the activity. For income, it's straightforward. You just pick, let's say fish levy, it's straightforward. But this one, you'll find that the same code, it's having different programs. So if you're making the payment, you have to know under which program is this activity. So first thing is, you notice that we have got this number, but never mind about it. So we have got the program name, and then we have got what we call, this is the activity name, and then I don't know if it is a chart of account. Yeah, but you know all these names. So this is the program name, then the chart of account, and so on. So from there, let's say we are making a payment for fuel. So just like fuel. Okay, so fuel is, I'm sure it's there as petrol. Okay, so when I type petrol, you have seen that I have different activities under petrol with the same code, but I should know which program is this same petrol. So let's say this is resource mobilization, something. So I pick that one as my activity. Then I go to description, bill payments, which is bill payments for fuel, blah, blah, blah. You can add your own English there. So now there again, I select the dates, and then the check number, let's say this is 0321, okay? So let's say 023. and then I select the cash book. From which cash book are we going to withdraw the same money for fuel? Okay, so I select district fund account, and then I go to source of funds. Let's say this is the local equalization fund, and then the payee, who is the beneficiary. So from there, you say, let's say, we have total here. Okay, in this case, I'll just pick any. All right. So I've picked that one as the payee. So payee is just the beneficiary of the same payment that we're trying to make. So again, we will go on prepared by. So prepared by, you select again. So let's say this is prepared by, yeah. Let's say this is prepared by Abishel. Okay, so like that, I can click on add, and then I'll put the amount. So let's say this amount is a, let's say 2,500 for fuel. And then if I've got more on the same payment, I go there on the activity, I select a different activity, and then I click on add. So now like this, I can just process. Done. So the moment I refresh, I'll find that under total payment, the department. Okay, sorry. Then we need to show the department, the program, the sub-program, and then the item name, and then the account code, amount there. Then prepared by, so again, the destination. So under employees, when you're adding those employees, you should not forget the job titles because it will reflect on the payment pattern. So if you didn't put anything, then this report won't know what is your position, the one who prepared the same pattern. And then from there, you can just print it out or save it in PDF, and then you can make people sign, and then that's all. Okay, so now let's do the bank transfer. So on the bank transfer, this transfer, it's not like when you are paying the outsiders. Let's say I've worked, made something for you, I've done something for you, and then if you want to pay me, you use the bank transfer. No, this is not connected to your accounts. No, not yet. Okay, so this transfer is just an internal transfer, just within your organization, within your cash box. So let's say if you are borrowing money from salaries or from district fund account to salaries, you use the same internal transfer form. So here, I'll start with a description. So on the description there, you put bank transfer or fund transfer from salaries to, let's say, fund transfer. Let's do fund transfer from district account, district fund account to, to salaries account, like that. So now from there, where it is saying bank, select the bank from, you select where the money is coming from. So we are borrowing money from district fund account to salaries account. So you select again salaries account, like that. So now there again, you pick the dates. So let's say let's just use the today's date. Okay, and then I'll enter the amount. So let's say we are borrowing 50,000 from the same account, which is district to salaries. So now what will happen is it will get this money, 50,000, from, it will make the payment in this account, and then this one will receive this same amount as a receipt. Okay. So now from there, this field is, I think, will be no longer in use. So never mind, but for now, just pick it. And then you select the prepared by. So let's say prepared by this guy, then process. So it is saying file transfer from whatever is created successfully. So done. So if we check the transfers, we have this transfer. Okay. So if you go to the cash book, now you'll find that when you check, you click on master file, and then let's try to check the district fund account for the month of November. So we'll find that we made this receipt. Yes. So this payment, this was a payment that we did for fuel to 5. And then this was a receipt for business levy and fire license, 600. And then there was this internal transfer of 50,000. So that's, so the opening balance plus that minus this, and then the closing balance as that. So like this, you can just print it out. Okay. So there is the cash book. If you want to export this cash book to Excel, just click on export to Excel. And then there are two cash books. There is summary and detailed. So you can either use detailed, it's up to you. So this one need to show everything. If on the receipt number, on the same receipt number, there was different activities, to split those activities and then to fill in the allocated amount. So let's say 11, then I'll select that. Okay. So now if we check for salaries account, we'll find that there is only one receipt of 50,000. Yes, the one that we just for making. So this is the 50,000. And then the pay here was supposed to show the same bank, but in our case, it's showing the other name because it's the one that I picked. But later on, this will change. Okay, it's just the term, never mind. Okay. So on the receipt and payment and transfer, that is all for now. So the other things that we have got the interest, of which I didn't talk about on the payment. So here again on the payment, let me just take you back a bit. So on the payment, I didn't talk about this field here, chart of account. So under chart of account, you use this field one if the payment is an interest payment. So if you are doing an interest payment, then you use the chart of account. So there you search for this interest staff debtors. So this is the control code for all the interest payments. So the moment you select the interest staff debtors, and then you pick the payee there as an employee. So the moment you do that, the system will know to say, okay, whoever has been picked, let's issue this amount as an interest. But if you ignore this control code, then the system won't know to say this is an interest payment. Okay. And then the other thing is, let's say you remember on with the time we're adding the supply, I mentioned something on the balance, like you got things on credit and then you decided now to pay. So now if you are making the payment for the same supply, let's say you got things on credit, let's say this is the office materials or office furnitures, or let's say this is the computer peripherals, which is keyboard and mouse. Yeah, if you got any of these items or any other, and then you want to make the payment, that is, first you have issued the what we call purchases invoice in the system, and then you want to make a payment against the same invoice. What you do is you come here on the payment, you select the same activity. Let's say if it was office material, you search for office material. So you pick that one, and then you come here to search for what we call supplier of goods and services. So you pick this code, supplier of goods and services. So this is the control code for all the creditors. Okay. So if you ignore this code, which is supply of goods and services, then you'll find that when you go to the statement to check how much you have paid against that supplier, you'll find that it will keep on showing to say you are owing this supplier the same amount. Why? You were not picking the control code for all or for the creditors. But if you were picking this control code for if you are paying for the supplier, then it will not to say, okay, I have to knock off this amount, whatever the amount that you're going to put here, and then you select the same supplier there. And then it will not to say, okay, this amount minus whatever they got. And then when you go to the statement, you find that it has knocked off. Okay. So that is it all about this select chart of account. Okay. Again, on the project, if the payment is for a project, is against any project that is happening. So you select the same project. Now, if the payment is just a general payment, it's not for any project or for any other projects, then you ignore this part because it's optional. But if you are paying for a certain project, then you select the same project so that when you go to project reports, you find that the report will come out. Okay, the budgeted amount for this project was this much, and how much you have paid so far, and then what is the balance in the account. Okay, so that's it about the payment. So once you follow all those rules, you'll find that you won't have that headache in terms of generating reports. But if you ignore all these concepts, then you'll have issues. But this is a very simple form, which I know that all of us can't fail to grasp the information. Okay, so thank you so much. We'll keep in touch. If any updates will be posting on the same platform. So make sure that you subscribe so that if any video, if we post any new video, you'll be able to receive the notification. Thank you so much.